why why charging more actually makes it affordable for everyone. Why charging more actually makes it affordable for everyone. You're like, what? Okay, so first of all, if you were to work with me, the first thing we do is, I'm not going to just give you a whole bunch of like, okay, let's do this and now let's do that and then you should do this. We need to figure out where you are at now. Okay, that's one of the very first things I think is so important in coaching, is meet you where you're at. Where am I at, right? Even in my own coaching process, where am I at? And what is the reoccurring pattern? What is the reoccurring symptom? That we often get confused with the symptom as a problem, right? Like, oh, I worry too much, or oh, I feel frustrated, or I'm angry. Those are symptoms, but there's always a deeper problem underneath. There's always a deeper sort of core, and that's the true kind of what we want to call like problem. Okay, so that's another thing when we start to kind of look at where you are in your business and your life. You want to start to see like what's happening chronically. What are the patterns? Because those are the superficial indicators and symptoms as to what's going on underneath the hood. Like there's usually like these deeper core wounds that constantly look like there are these symptoms, look like these problems, look like this emotion, look like this constant problem that I'm having, when really it's actually something deeper. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to do some questions. Hey, Jenny. Okay. So nice to see you here. Yay. Okay. So I want you to answer these questions. Okay. So number one, when you wake up in the morning and you are going to, do your thing, do your work, is it that feeling like you jump out of bed and you're like, yes, I get to work with my clients today. I get to teach that workshop. I get to do this live. I get to, whatever it is it that feeling that you get to do it and you're like literally super excited, right? Or is it like, I have to do it and oh, I better like, I kind of have to do it to make this work. I sort of have to kind of get in the hustle mode. I have to grind. I have to kind of do this thing, right? That energy of like, I have to, sort of like this survival kind of mode where it's like, I got to get this done. I got to pay the bills. I got to like see the client, and then I have to see the client afterwards. And then I have another client, and then I have another client, and then I have my kids. And then after I have the dinner, and then I have that, like, what kind of energy is it? Right? And it's no judgment. It's just to see like, where am I at? Hey, Jennifer. Lots of Jennies in my life. Lots of Jennifers and Jennies in my life. So there's something about Jennifers that is very special. So anyway, thank you, Jennifer. And thank you, Jenny, for being here. But our very first question is, when you do your service, when you are thinking about your, the love of what, hey, Claudia, right? So when you're thinking about the thing you love to do, right? And it's like, when you wake up in the morning, does it feel like, yes, I get to do this? Or it's like, ooh, hey, Nicole, what's up, girl? Right? Or is it, I have to do it. I have to do this because I have to make the money. I have to pay the bills. So which one is it? Tell me in the comments, okay, if it's a feeling of I get to, right? Or a feeling of I have to, right? And when you get up, right, what are the kind of the things you gravitate to? Like, what is the thing that you are your priority? Do you do all the cleaning? Do you do all the, yes, both. Okay, so Nicole says both. I get to, and they're like, ugh, right? So she's like, her energy is a little bit in a bit of both, and which is great. It's like, because perhaps there's this transition now, right? Because sometimes we're really in the like, I gotta freaking hustle, man. I gotta pay the bills. I got like, I kind of have to get by, right? That get by energy, which we've all been there, okay? I've been there. We were, right? And we all know that, and it's not a judgment, and there's nothing wrong with being there, but it's just to start to see, where am I at now? Where is my energy at now? Is it really in that survival mode, right? And when I get up, do I take care of like all the things, right? Do I clean the toilet? Do I wash the dishes? Do I take care of the kids? Do I, do the email? Do I, right? Or, right, do you do the thing you love? Do you do the thing you love first? And when you do the thing that you love first, does it feel, right? And let me know in the questions. And so Jennifer says, so far for me, I'm happy. I get, for the first time in my entire life, right? But I only work one day so far in this new job. Yes, sir. So Jennifer, it's like you're moving towards what it is you want. And that's where we're always going, right? It's like one of my coaches says, like, you know, to take a million step journey, you have to take the first step, right? So when you're moving towards, it's like, yes, okay, I feel it coming in, right? I feel it coming in. So where is your energy? Start to look at, like, am I kind of making everything conditional, and then I'm going to do the writing, and then I'm going to do the workshop that I want to do, and then I'm going to work on the business I want to work on, right? Does everything else and everyone else come before what you love? And again, it's not a judgment, it's just to see, where is my energy more in that survival place, or is it in this place of like possibility, creativity, right? And when you're actually servicing your clients, does it feel like it's a place of freedom? Does it feel like this place of joy, right? Do you like show up? Like, you know, right now I'm servicing you guys, right? And I'm here, and it's a place where it's like I'm offering this like free training. And is it from a place where it's like, oh my God, I have to hustle and I have to do this? Or is it from this place, whenever you're doing your zone of genius, what you love, is it this place where it's like, ooh, this feels really good? And it's an exchange where whenever I kind of get off a call with a client, or whenever I finish what I'm doing, I actually feel like I've received energy. I feel fulfilled. Or is it more that energy of like, okay, I got this client, and then I got the next client, and then, you know what I mean? So, okay, so Jennifer Walsh, inbox me for your spiritual guidance and reading. Okay, so I'm not sure what's happening in the comments. Okay, so, all right, so let me know in the comments now what it is for you, so that you can start to see what's going on, right? What's going on for you right now? Okay, because we always want to see where we're at right now, and it's not a place of judgment. It's just to see, where am I at? Am I in this energy of I get to, or am I in this energy of like, gotta hustle, gotta grind, and like what Nicole said, she's in a little bit of both, right? And it's okay. You know, the thing is, it's not like one is bad or the other, but sometimes when we allocate too much energy in fear and in survival, then that's the thing that starts driving the bus, right? And then we make a lot of our decisions out of scarcity, right? Instead of making the decision out of the energy of possibility, right? And in energy of scarcity, it feels very like, okay, it's only this, and I only have this, and I only have this much time, and this is the problem, and I gotta solve this problem. And the energy of abundance feels a little bit more like, okay, so what is the possibility? What am I willing, right, to start to receive? What am I willing? What are the answers I'm willing to receive, right? Okay, so again, so let me know where you're at in the comments, okay? And my question is, right, so the title of this topic is why charging more can make it affordable for everyone. And my question is for you, your current business model, is it affordable for you? Is it affordable for you? Do you feel like that place where you feel energetic, joyful, expansive, excited? You know, you're there with 1,000% presence. Or do you feel like, you know, you're in this place where it feels you're slightly overwhelmed all the time? You feel like you kind of have to do it. You feel, right? And so are you paying, right? No, laugh out loud. Good. Okay, Claudia, right? But do you feel like you're paying with your energy, with your time, with your emotions, right? So where you paying? So sometimes, okay, and this is a bit of a nuance, okay, and the only reason I talk about this is because I've done this before too. Sometimes when we're teaching or when we're doing our thing, we get a high and we're like, yes, I'm on top of the world. And then afterwards we feel drained. So it's kind of like this energy that goes up and then down, up and then down. And it's kind of like we give all our energy right in the moment when we're there, but then we feel drained. Versus giving all our energy, but then at the same time, there feels like there is this exchange happening, right? It feels kind of like exciting. It feels kind of like you're right at these growth edges with your what you're working with or with your clients. And at the end of it, you feel like you're nourished and your clients are nourished. So that's a little bit of a nuance, because I know, being a yoga teacher myself, sometimes we posture, right? We posture like joy, we posture, excitement. And then, but when the posturing afterwards, we feel tired, right? And of course, I'm not saying you're never gonna feel tired. I'm not saying, of course, if whatever, something's going on in your life, but if it's constantly like this high and this low, and this high and this low, it's like, oh my God, I gave it all and I felt like a queen, and then now I'm like super duper tired, right? So just kind of see the energy that is happening for you, right? And maybe it's something else, and describe it for me. Okay, scam, no one take a reading from that person. Okay, yeah, I don't know who that person is. I don't know how to take them off, but anyway, okay. So I have no idea. All right, so we're going to continue, right? I'm going to have to figure that out. Okay, so we're going to continue now. So what is it for you? Let me know in the comments, okay? And also the other reason why I'm talking about it like this is because I've done that, where it's like I teached all the classes, I did all the workshops, I did the retreats, I gave 3 types of teacher trainings, right? And even after all that work, right? Even after all that work, I would look at my paycheck and feel like, I would feel a sense of drain, right? And it's like, after all that marketing, after I've done the YouTube, courses, I've done the Instagram courses, I've done the online creation courses, I've done the website, I've done the copy, I've done a lot of courses, right? And all of them have served me, because now if I hire somebody else, I really know what to look for. But my effort, right, and my bank account didn't seem to match up. Right? The energy I was putting in all of the marketing and all of my, trying to grow my business didn't match with my bank account, right? So this is the only reason why I'm talking about it, and seeing if it's true for you guys too, okay? And so when I say, is it affordable for you? Because, making it affordable for everyone, when you make it, when it's not even affordable for you, then it's not affordable for everyone. So meaning to say, if you feel slightly drained, if you feel like, bank account's half full and it doesn't, I feel overworked, I feel overwhelmed, I feel burnt out, right? Then what's happening is that it's taking from your own well of energy, your own joy, your own fulfillment. And it's very difficult for you to feel like you've been paid. And so when you are giving your services, sometimes you show up with half a tank, right? And again, like we've all done, again, guilty as charged, right? So that's why I'm bringing it up. And just to see, like, if that's what's happening, is that, everyone is getting paid just a little bit, right? And so the model that I want to propose to you is, how can we, take a moment to actually pay ourselves, right? And pay ourselves a premium for the life-altering problem that we solve, right? So charging a premium means charging 3K, 4K, 5K, 6K, 8K, 10K. And when you hear those numbers, the first thing that's going to happen, especially if it's new to you, there's going to be, you just notice if there's resistance. Okay? And you're like, what the F? I don't even understand how that's even possible. And the reason why that's going on is because if you've never charged that much before, we all have a certain amount in our mind that we're allowed to charge based on what everybody else is doing and based on what you've been doing so far. So just think about like the highest amount you've made per month, and most likely that's your box. Okay, so let me know if somebody has that box where they feel like, like that's it, right? Okay, so notice the red flag if there is some type of resistance, okay? And then allow yourself to ponder and think, maybe, there's another way, right? And this is the beauty of learning how to manifest your life, is just by asking that question, life is going to start to give you some answers, right? And if you're allowing yourself to kind of receive those answers, then you're going to, because sometimes the answers are right in front of your face, but when you receive them, because you're so much of your energy is in what you don't want, you only see what you don't want, and you can't see what you do want. So that's another thing, like I talk about too, where it's like, what I see a lot of entrepreneurs do is put a lot of energy in what they don't want, which is important, but then there's no allocation of energy in what they do want. So I talk about that in a whole other training, if you energetically invest in your business, how it pays you back. All right, so go down, scroll down, and you're going to see that's a whole other training. But what starts to happen, right, is we start to, and I talked about this with one of our other clients, right, is like we start to hear the music. There's two musics playing, right? The music that we really like and the music that we don't like. But so much of our energy and awareness is in what we don't like. We can't hear the music that's actually playing right now that we do like. Okay, so this is sometimes what happens when you're praying for something, you're asking for something, right? And the answer always, the universe is always going to give you the answer, and it's when you are in this place of receiving that you're actually like, it finally kind of like hits you in the face, like, oh my God, it was right there the whole time. Okay, and so charging a premium for your expertise can be a model where you start to pay yourself first. So it makes it affordable for you and your clients and your family and whatever else it is that you want to invest in. And that really includes everyone, even if that means investing in, a charity that means something to you, right? So what we teach our clients is to, first of all, just know like what is the pain that your client is going through, and really understanding the cost of that pain. Again, not just money wise, but the cost of that pain. So for example, one of my clients, Michael, he was going through debilitating anxiety, okay, barely can get out of bed. He was trying everything, right? He went to a doctor, he went to a nurse, he started changing his diet, he talked to a therapist, all kinds of things. But he still could barely get out of bed, and his kids were so sweet, they would help him, right, in the morning. So it would also be affecting his work, it would be affecting his relationship with his wife, it would be affecting his own confidence, right? So there was so much cost, physical cost, mental cost, emotional cost, health cost, and money cost that was happening for him, right? And so he came to this point, and again, I believe he came into this point where it's like, okay, there's got to be a way, right? He opened himself to that. There's got to be a way. And so he called me up in a very like high state of anxiety. And in week 4, okay, where he literally at week 1 could barely get out of bed, week 4, he literally felt like a new person. Okay? So I just want you to put this in context where it's like, think about all of your own experience, all of your own expertise, everything that you've invested in time, money, energy, your trainings, your healing, your books, your podcast, everything you've been doing to this point, right? And then all of the pain that your client is suffering at this point. And if they don't, find a way to a solution to release this pain, they're going to continue to be paying, not just in money and a lot of therapy or in, but in time, right? In energy, in their relationships with their family, with their kids, with their work, right? So, and in their own confidence to figure, like, maybe they might be giving up hope, like, oh my gosh, is there actually a way out of this debilitating anxiety, right? So just think about that. And then think about your expertise and see how they can actually converge. And you can actually give them a solution that takes them out of that pain, right? And this is where, again, another kind of your mindset is going to be like, oh my God, what if I'm not enough, right? And that very often happens when you've been on the healing journey for so long. You're so used to being in the healing that you forget, well, actually, I've actually come like leaps and bounds. I've been on my own hero's journey, and I have a lot to give, And so imagine somebody who, like, they haven't gone on that journey, but you come with your journey and you offer them the solution. And then in 4 weeks, right, it's like you give them like your whatever decade or 2 decades or 3 decades of experience, and you distill it down in a way that gives them results, because in your life you've created results, right? And that's the thing that you want to realize. You already have your assets. So many times we feel like, oh my God, there's this sort of story, right, where we feel, especially if we've been on the healing journey for a long time, we feel like it's not enough. We're inherently broken, right? And we go on this journey to kind of fix ourselves. But then we forget we actually have transformed so much in our journey. So imagine taking all of that experience and giving it to somebody so they can transform their, debilitating, pain that they're going through. So with our client, Michael, literally in 4 weeks, right? Just applying what I've known, because I have gone through debilitating anxiety. I have gone through, the darkest, deepest depression. I have gone where I can barely get out of bed. So of course, I had to kind of move through that experience, and I started to discover all of these different tools and experiences. And I went on the retreats, I went on the journeys, I took the trainings, I did all of that, right? And then it's like, all of that now is my gift that I can give somebody else. So that person, instead of taking 10 more years and trying all of these different things and paying out so much money and time, effort, money, your relationship suffering, just think about all of that they're going to have to pay for somehow, with money, with time, with energy, with their relationships. They're going to have to pay for that somehow. And you give it to them in a distilled program. And they invest in it at a premium that allows them to really start to invest not just in you, but in their own healing process once and for all, right? So when I talk about making it affordable for everyone, it's really difficult to try to make it affordable for everyone if you're not getting paid. If you're not getting paid not just in money, but if you're not getting paid in energy, if you're not getting paid in spaciousness, if you're not getting paid in fulfillment, if you're not getting paid in, if you're constantly tired and your relationships are suffering, right? Then you are constantly paying out somehow, right? But imagine you start paying yourself. You're able to pay your clients, right? With your expertise, with your time, with your energy. You're able to, also pay your family with your energy, with your time, with your joy, your relationships. You're able to pay your hobbies with your time, your energy, your relationships. You're able to pay a charitable donation or charitable cause with your time, your money, and your energy. You see? And so that makes it affordable for everyone. This is making sense for everybody. I'm not seeing any comments, so I'm not sure if that's the Facebook. So let me know in the comments if any of this is making sense. I'm gonna look on my my computer and see if maybe the comments are coming there, because I only see the latest comments. So anyone? All right, I'm not seeing anything here. Okay, so maybe Claudia or maybe Jen or Jenny can write me in the comments and let me know if the comments are working, because for some reason I'm not seeing any responses. So if you have any questions, write them in the comments, okay? And let me know what's landing for you now and what's your biggest takeaway, okay? And I'm just gonna look at my notes. Okay. So, yes, comments are working. Okay, cool. All right, I agree. I think that potential clients need to really be ready for the change, right? So what starts to happen is money is a symbol for what you're committed to, right? So this is where kind of in our program, right? The first thing we do is, number one, we look at our patterns. So that's what we've been doing, right? It's like the first thing we talked about is we asked you a couple of questions to see where your patterns are at, and to see the symptoms that are like these superficial symptoms to kind of the chronic pattern underneath, right? The deeper kind of mood, okay? And so we do that with what I call the 3-level clearing. So we clear the physical body, we clear the mind, and we clear the energy. And that gives you more room, because it's very hard to find clarity when you have sort of those kind of chronic patterns continually coming up. Okay, so that's the very first thing we do in our program, right? So that's what we did today, where it's like, okay, let's look at where you're at. Let's ask questions to see, where am I at? You know, Nicole was saying 50-50. You know, some people didn't answer the questions. So this is like, am I more in, you know, survival mode? Do I allocate most of my energy and time in that place where it's like I'm constantly sort of like getting by, right? Am I in that hustle mode, right? Or do I feel a sense of spaciousness? I feel a sense of freedom. I feel a sense of fulfillment when I'm doing my work. And people are saying it's a bit of both. So that starts to show you, okay, maybe I'm starting to transfer and allocate my energy a little bit more balanced, where it's not always in fear mode, 5 parts fear and like no part possibility, right? And so that's step number 1. So we have to kind of take care of that first. Otherwise, your survival mode is constantly going to be the driver. It's going to be the one that's constantly driving the bus. And whenever you drive the bus from that place of scarcity, it's a very hard place to make decisions from, because everything feels like this. And everything feels like there's a problem, right? Okay, so let's see. Jennifer says, I feel like now that I'm happy at a job, it automatically has brought me freedom, and I'm not scared in survival mode anymore, which is great. And that's great, because Jennifer, what I see is you have put your energy in possibility, and you've asked for something very specific, right? So we've talked about this before. There's a frequency, the energy of possibility, and there's accuracy, and you had like a certain number, and then it's like, lo and behold, you get this job that has that certain number. So what I want to tell you, Jennifer, is that you figured out the formula to manifestation. So if we know the formula to manifestation, then we can slowly continue to manifest more and more what it is that we want. But we can't know what we want until we clear what I call our spiritual house, right? Oh yes, I did love it, and I'm making 20, I'm pretty sure you mean $20 an hour, $2 than my last job. Oh my God, amazing. Yes. And yes, okay, so here, this energy of celebration, okay, is the frequency to your longevity. And it's your first step in your million, your journey of 1,000,000 miles. Meaning to say, the horizon is never going to be ending. So we as human beings, we naturally want to expand. So what I would suggest to you, now that you understand the formula of manifestation, then you can get more clear on what it is you want to manifest even more. Maybe you want to expand your threshold of what you're going to make, right? And you saw right here, and life is giving you that wink, right? Telling you, oh, okay, you wanted that, here it is, right? Okay, no, I meant $2 more per hour than my last job, which is still really good. Great, right? And so these little wings from the universe, these little things, like whenever we're manifesting, and I talked about this in our coaching with one of our clients, whenever you're trying to manifest, like we talk about, like, oh my gosh, I want to own my own home, you want to start to see these little wings, these little things that start to show you that it's actually happening in your life. So I love the fact that Jennifer's like, yeah, $2 more than my last job. Yes, because that frequency is going to be the frequency that's going to allow you to expand even into more possibility. If that's making sense to you, Jen, right? So now you can start to play and get a little bit more accurate and start to, like, start to open your mindset and say, like, okay, so Jamie's saying that I can charge like 3K, 4K, 5K, 8K, 10K per client. Oh my God, like what, how, right? Even just totally allowing yourself just to ponder that question, life is going to say, here is the answer, right? And then life is going to give you just these little, like, hints that it's starting to work. And that's what you want to see, right? Hey, Sahana's here. Hello. Okay, so recap. Okay, why charging more makes it affordable for everyone. One, always want to see your pattern, right? Where are you at now? Are you in survival mode? Are you in that hustle mode? Or are you in this place of feeling free and expansive, or maybe a little bit in between, okay? Because that is the symptom to the kind of deeper core wound that's starting to kind of surface through those symptoms. It's not the problem, okay? So that's the nuance that we want to start to understand. It's the symptom, and especially if it's chronic, it's showing you, there's something here that you need to look at, okay? Number two, are you making it affordable for yourself, right? In between. Cool. So Claudia says in between, which is great. Wonderful. That means we're transitioning, right? We're reallocating. We're not in constantly like survival mode. We're like, oh my God, right? I have to constantly, like, and we've all been there, and that's okay, right? It's just to know where we're at, okay? But know where we're at, and then, what if I start to reallocate? Like, I love how Jen said, like, $2 more. Just start to reallocate my energy in a little bit more of an expansive possibility, right? Okay? And then number two, is it affordable for you? What you're charging, is it affordable for you? Meaning to say, by the end of the day, do you feel like you're spent in your energy? Do you feel like you're spent in your time? Do you feel you're spent in your emotions? Do you feel spent and burnt that you can't give anything else to anyone else, even to yourself and to your clients, if you had another client or something else, to marketing? Okay, that's a whole other thing, I have a whole other training, like, why is it so hard to put yourself out there? But it's like all of those things that we kind of need to do to run the business, right? So what am I charged that's not affordable yet? What am I charged is not affordable with? Okay, I'm not sure about the question. What am I charged is not affordable yet? Maybe you can clarify, Claudia? So it's like, is it what dollar am I? What dollar am I? Okay, still not 100% clear about the question. So let me just continue, and maybe as you write your comments, I'll be more clear. But it's like, start to see if it's affordable even first for you, because if it's not affordable for you, where you start to look at your bank account and you're like, whew, just got by, whoa, and again, I know this because I've been there, right? I've been to that point, and I've told this story before, where I literally was in a mall and I'm like, oh my gosh, if these people weren't looking, I would eat those leftovers, right? Like, I've been in the survivor mode, right? So I know, right? What is your value, right? I meant, what am I charging is not affordable. Okay, got it. So Claudia's saying what I'm charging now is not affordable for yourself. Again, not just money-wise, but energetically wise, fulfillment-wise. Maybe you're kind of doing the thing because you feel like you have to do it, but there's something else calling you. There's some bigger kind of like purpose that is kind of calling you and saying, well, I think you actually, like, there's this, right? And sometimes the universe is gonna talk to you and you're like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, sorry, no problem, okay? Sometimes with just the comments, like, it's hard to understand what people are saying. It's all good. I'm glad we're trying to clarify it. And so you start to see like how it's costing you, and if it's costing you, then that means it's costing your clients. That means that you're not fully present at 1,000% with them. You see? And again, it's no judgment. It's just to really kind of see, where am I at? Am I kind of like showing up, or am I kind of rushing to the next line, to the next line, to the next line, to the next line, because I feel like I have to, like, get into that place where it's like I need more, right? It's not enough, right? And that not enough energy is still coming from scarcity. Even if you're raking in the dough and you're in that energy of not enoughness, it will never be enough. So again, that frequency is really important, okay? And then starting to open your mind and possibility, especially if it's something new to you. It's like, well, what if I charged a premium and I paid myself first, where it's like, ooh, that feels really good. And it feels like, oh my God, like, holy, like, almost mind-blowing, like, what the, And I'm able to pay my clients, like, fully. Like, I'm here for you guys right now, in this whole hour of training, like, that I prepared for the, the week. And I'm here, and I'm like, here guys, like, here is, like, something I want to share with you, right? So are you able to kind of allow yourself and willing to see, maybe there's a possibility, right? Money is energy, and I'm ready for a positive shift. Yes, baby, right? And the fact that you are already claiming that, it's happening now. Okay? Just like Jennifer, even the $2, it means it's happening now. So that's the energy that we want to continue to allocate our energy in, right? We don't want to, like, oh my God, but it's only this much, and oh my God, right? It's like, oh, wow, I manifested that. Ooh, okay, then I get to continue to create my life. Ooh, right? It's that I get to energy that we talked about at the beginning. It's like the have to, where it's like, oh, I have to do this, and I get to. Very different energies that create a very different outcome. You feel much more energized, much more fulfilled, much more joyful. Okay? I'm not saying you never get tired. Okay? You're not gonna always be like rah, happy, right? Because that's when you start to discern and know when you need to chill out and, rest and, like, know you're okay. You're not always needing to survive. And so if you allow this possibility of charging more, then it's affordable for everyone, because you're giving yourself, you're giving to your clients, you're giving to your family, you're giving to your friends, and if you want, you could even give to charitable organizations. So when we say everyone, I literally mean everyone, because sometimes we think everyone just means like the people that are coming to our class. That's not everyone. It's, right? And especially if the first person needs to be you, of course, but, like, let's really expand our definition of what everyone means. Okay, cool. So Claudia says, thank you so much. I'm teaching soon. Much love. Thank you for being here. I appreciate appreciate you, and we'll talk more. All right, so Claudia is one of our clients. So, just giving yourself permission, right, to make it affordable, and maybe even more than affordable, make it abundant for yourself, right, first pays everybody else, right? And so this is like sort of the model that we teach our clients. And one, like I said, we need to clear, the physical, mental, and energetic body. Two, get really clear what it is that when you start to clear that, what it is that you want to offer to the world slowly starts to emerge. Okay, because you're not bombarded by survival mode. You're like, oh, actually, I'm actually very I feel drawn to doing this, right? Those are like the universe saying, what about this? What about this possibility? Because universe is infinite possibility, right? And then we start to distill that so that you can really give your clients what they need. So not like every little thing in the kitchen sink. It's like what it is, and then you start to distill. We help you distill your own process that you already have in your pocket, your assets that you already have, that you've come with, right, in your healing journey, right? How can you distill that so that you can give your client, like what we did with Michael? It's like 4 weeks, debilitating anxiety that would have probably lasted him for years and years and years if he couldn't find the help that he needed, right? And just start to distill that and give it to them so that they get results now, so that it doesn't cost them more money, more time, more energy, and more sacrifices in their relationship, right? And you start to see, and this is where a lot of people are like in their mindset, they're like, oh my gosh, but am I worth it? You start to really see how both of you converge, how your client, right, who's kind of really in this place of pain and suffering, and then you have gone through that journey, right, through your certifications, through your trainings, through your own journey, right, and you're like, oh, I've gone through that journey, so let me give it to you. So how valuable would that be if you exchange that, for a premium rate, you exchange it, and that outcome happened in 8 weeks or 12 weeks, not in 10 years. Are you guys seeing how this is, how it starts to really make it affordable for everyone? And then when you change your life, it's a ripple effect. And when you change your client's life, it's a ripple effect. So now my client, Michael, he's able to, show up for work. He's able to show up for his wife. He's able to play with his kids. He's able to weight train. He's able to do all that, right? So all of a sudden now, it's like now everyone is getting paid, right? Energetically, financially, with joy. Do you see? Right? But sometimes it's like what happens, when we truly invest at a premium, what happens is like we make the dive. We're like, okay, now I'm committing to my healing, right? Because if it's sort of like a low dollar kind of model, there's always this sort of like half or not even there, or kind of like getting high, right? Okay, all good for him. I love stories like that where people come back and go to themselves totally amazing. And the reason why he did that, Jennifer, is that he finally decided to invest in himself. He finally decided to invest in the time. He finally fully committed to the process and somewhat surrendered to the process in that trust, right? So there has to be sort of this bit of trust when you're with your coach, and just like with my coaches, there's a bit of a surrender there. We're like, okay, there's a journey that I've gone through, and there's a journey that you've gone through, and if we converge and we start to collaborate, then it's going to create something, right? A magic. It's going to create transformation. Yeah, it was his time for sure. You have to choose yourself. Exactly. So that's what Jennifer's saying, and that's what it is, guys. It's a choice. And when there's not enough energy, focus, or time and money invested in sort of the transformation, what naturally will happen is that it's sort of like this half, right? Or sort of, where you kind of get high on, let's say, the yoga class, but then it's sort of like those deeper rooted patterns and wounds are not addressed. So it is, Jennifer, that readiness of like, okay, let me really look at the deeper root that is kind of the lens that has been kind of holding me back from where I want to be. I know where I want to be. I can see it. I can feel it. But for some reason, there's this thing that kind of like, is sort of stopping me, this chronic thing. And that's what we do in our program. We really look at what's that chronic thing and what is underneath that. Because once you do that, right, then you really, it affects everything in your life. And so that's sort of like the shift that we teach our clients. It's the shift of, yes, technically, yes, it is a big investment, yes. But the payoff of that investment, if you are ready, if you are willing, if you choose yourself over and over and over again, and you continue to choose yourself, and you continue to allocate what you don't want into what you want, and what you don't want into what you want, and you don't want what you want, that's how you start to manifest what you want, right? And that's how you begin to transform your life, right? So that's the process that we take you through, right? And again, it's not just like, oh, just do X, Y, Z. It's like, well, first of all, let's really look at the true reason why you're not where you're at, right? And then as you begin to clear that, then it becomes more and more clear like what your soul's purpose is. And then we start to trust in that. So what we teach you is this development of trust, because fundamentally you are the one that knows your truth. I can't tell you your truth. You know your truth, right? And if there's this deep down longing to be more, to expand, know that you have more to offer, know that you can create a bigger difference, know that you can make it affordable for yourself and everyone else in abundance, not just getting by, right? Then that's the type of work we do if you're ready and willing, right? We look at the deep core wounds. We work on clearing that, because, if that's been there for decades, it's not easy to just, if your intellect knew, if we just read a book and our intellect would be able to figure out the answer, then we'd all be enlightened, because we would just have to read the next book on the shelf that says, this is how you get enlightened, right? But it doesn't really work that way. We are a collective that mirror each other, right? And we all kind of come into our lives and we start to play these roles so that we can continue to evolve with each other, right? So I have my own coaches and they constantly play these roles of what's possible for me. And I'm other people's coaches where I constantly play this role. I get to play this role for them of what's possible for them. And we start to allow, we start to give ourselves permission, because for some reason along the way, somebody told us, we got this impression, this imprint that we were not allowed to be more than more. But the other thing that we start to learn in our program is that money is symbolic to what you're committed to, and it's an opportunity to show you that you are a limitless being, right? So everything in the physical manifest world, right, is showing you, and it seems like, oh, I only have this much. But when you again learn how to manifest, you start to realize, oh my gosh, I actually am a limitless being, and if I rest my energy and continue to rest my energy in possibility, then literally anything is possible. And I know it sounds like, oh, that sounds too, sounds too easy. And that's the thing. Sometimes we think it has to be so hard. But what if it wasn't so hard? What if you can pay yourself a premium? What if it was affordable, more than affordable for yourself, more than affordable for your clients, because they start to solve their life-altering problem that they don't have to spend now years and years and years and years trying to figure out with their time, money, and energy, right? What if you were able to teach for free and also create an abundant income, right? So here I am teaching for free, and then I also have my coaching clients, right, that we charge at a premium, right? So it's like everyone wins, right? I'm continuing to give back to you guys. So whether you ever become my client or not, I still am able to give, right? And then if there's other people outside of my like demographic that I want to give to, I can, right? And so it's like, and then after I teach today, I still have enough energy for my children. I still have enough energy for my husband. And again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm never like cranky or whatever, you know what I mean? But I'm not constantly burnt out where it's like I'm constantly, it's costing everybody else, right? Something, you see? So I hope this is making sense why charging more makes it affordable for everyone. And again, if you were to work with me, that's what we do in our program. So if you are interested in something like that, then you DM me and say, I'm ready for a breakthrough yoga coaching call. And on that call, what I do is I send you an application just to see where you're at, to see if it's like a good fit. And then we really look at like, whoa, what is the chronic thing that's happening? And we get to the root of that. Because once you get to the root of that, it's like, this weight gets lifted off your shoulder, and you finally, like, the glasses are of limitation start to come off, and you're like, oh my God, that's the message, the unconscious message that I was given. I didn't realize that. We don't, that's why we call it unconscious, because we don't realize it. And it's, you can be the best therapist, you can be the best massage therapist, or you know, whatever it is you do, but you can't necessarily, like my coach says, Gita Narkani, you can't massage your own back, right? Like, right? So there's something about collaborating with somebody else and fully investing your energy, and them fully investing in their energy. And then when everyone is fully invested, then it's like that's where the magic happens, right? Because we both surrender to possibility. We're not constantly, we're not both on this hustle mode and this, oh my God, we have to mode, right? Our resentful mode. We're like, oh, let's do this. Let's play together. Let's do this, right? So DM me. I'm ready for a breakthrough yoga coaching call. I'll send you an application form. I'll look through it. And if it looks like we're like, you know, it works, then we're going to book a call. And then we're going to see, we're going to go through that process of seeing like the deeper core, right? And then if it seems like we collaborate well, then I'd make you an offer. That's how it works, right? So fully transparent, that's how it works, right? And that's it. So I told you guys I want to end with an abundance meditation. Okay, so if you have any more questions, please write them in the comments. Write down your biggest takeaways, especially if you're here for the replay. I want to hear, like, what was your aha? What was the one thing? What was the thing you wrote down and you circled it and you're like, oh, that's the thing. Because that's the thing, I want you to trust that intuition, because that's the thing that you needed today, right? Maybe there's a whole hour of stuff and you're like, blah, 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 blah. But then there was this one thing and you're like, that's the thing. And that's life saying, woohoo, okay, this is the thing, right? Okay, let's listen to that and let ourselves expand there, right? Life is always giving you what you need. I am here to play that role to give you what it is you need, all right? So, okay, abundance meditation. Let's do this. All right, so you're going to breathe in, breathe out. Okay, maybe our nervous system has taken in a lot of information, right? And then we allow ourselves here to breathe in, breathe out, and just calm the nervous system. Working with Melissa, I do need to understand my relationship with money. Yes, yeah, perfect. That's beautiful. I'm so happy you're working with Melissa Sadhana, because, yeah, right. You guys are going to get to the core of it. And that's going to be such an awesome, and the fact that you're just ready and willing, then, you know, that's where the transformation happens, in that realm of possibility, right? And your ability to allow yourself to go to those deeper places, you know, that perhaps we were sort of like, so I'm happy that you're doing that. So, okay, so let's breathe in here, breathe out. Okay, breathe in, Breathe out. Now, abundance is not something out there. Abundance is a frequency that is available to you now. So Sahana, this would be a probably really good meditation for you. Is abundance is available to you now. You know this, our coaches tell us this, right? And so start to feel and see it. Feel and see abundance right now. So feel and see the clothes on your skin. Like, wow. I probably had like 20 shirts I could have chose today. Like, woo, and I got this one. I chose this one today. Let yourself breathe in and like feel the abundance of that. Like, whoa, life is coming into my body. Like, oh my God. And I get to relax. I get to be here and learn about all this nerdy stuff that I love, and it's like manifestation and money and my relationship to it. Like, yay, wow. So be in this place of receiving. Allow yourself to receive, right? Think of your morning. Maybe you had this like delicious coffee or tea, or you had your nice little breakfast, or you opened the tap and there was like water, and you're like, whoa, water, free flowing water for me to just to consume, right? And just it's crazy if you start to think about everything around you, your chairs, your floor, your mat, whatever it is. Start to make it like this, almost like you start to overwhelm yourself with all of what you've manifested. So I'm not saying it's just physical things, but the physical things will give your mind, your intellectual mind, like, okay, yes, it's true. It's not like you're just coming out of thin air, right? And you're like, whoa, my God, that I have like 4 freaking chairs. I have like a couch. I have a bed. I have this apartment. I have this house. I have this partner. I have this time to actually take this training. Like, this is so cool. It's like you overwhelm yourself with all of the things that are so cool in your life, right? You just take it in. And it's not an intellectual conversation. I want you to actually just to receive it, like feel it, like wow. And the way sometimes you can feel it is like how children feel things. It's like, whoa, so cool, right? It's like you go for ice cream and they're like, yay, we get to go for ice cream, yes, right? And whatever you're doing today, you get to go walk outside where like the air is clean and you're like you have the freedom to walk outside and it's safe, right? Maybe you have a car and you're like, whoa, I have a car, right? And that's the practice. You just continue just to like, oh my God, I have a fridge full of food. Oh my God. And today maybe you get to do some of your own expertise or your own art. You get to do that. Maybe later you get to work with a coach or whatever you're doing, and you get to do that. You see the get to energy? Not I have to. I don't have to heal more. I get to, right? And you let your cells be kind of like nourished and like plump with abundance. And you're like, you let it all in. And you feel it in your physical vessel, because that's where we live from. We're like, oh my God, I have a vessel. Guys, I have a body. Like, this is a miracle. You are a soul living in this freaking body. You're like, oh my God, I have a body. Like, this is crazy, right? And that's the frequency that you bathe in. That's the frequency you abide in. Okay, abundance begets abundance, right? It's not what I don't have or what I should have or what I need to heal more or that's in that kind of lack place, right? Okay, so you just let it pour in, and then you let yourself expand there. You let yourself expand there, right? Stay grounded. Okay, that's another thing we always teach in our program is in the physical body, we must live in the physical body. No way around that. So stay grounded, feel your physical body here on the floor. That's where you are. You're living through a physical body. You're not just this physical body. And then expand into that feeling of abundance. And again, it's not an intellectual conversation in your head. It's an actual experience. There's 2 different things. Feeling and thinking are 2 different things. So let yourself feel it. It's like, yes. Right? And that's the frequency that you want to take action from. Okay, if you're wanting to create more abundance and wanting to expand in your possibilities, you abide in that